Yo, what's going on, everybody? Sorry, I'm running late. Lost track of time. I have been reviewing like race plan, like training plans and stuff like that, and I just was downstairs getting a drink of water, and then I kind of got lost in thought about it. So sorry about that, but I'm here now. It is Wednesday, a little bit after 3 o'clock, 3:02 p.m., July 28th, 29th. Oh, I think I put the wrong date on all the thumbnails. Oh well. It's July 29th, 2020. It's not the first time that I've done that. I frequently get it wrong. But I'm here now. I'm glad you're here. Sorry about the delay. We've got Louis M. says, yo, what's going on? Mark Trujillo's here. Bert Leguess is here as well. Martha, Patrick Fung. Let's see what happened to Bert. Had a horrible run today after he took 10 days off. First run playing a long run became very short. That's a bummer. It's a bummer. But I feel you though. Today I took kind of it was an unplanned rest day. I was going to go out and do another 5 miles today, but I decided after I woke up that I would just skip it today. I kind of went to bed late. I was doing a little bit of work and then ended up going to bed late, woke up a little bit late. And then when I woke up, I had a little bit of a headache. So I was like, you know what? Let's just scrap it for today. Take it easy. There's no rush. So why not? So I did that too. Hopefully yours isn't a big issue, and hopefully you can get back out there soon. But yeah, but I definitely understand what you're saying. And then today in the mail came my Triumph 18s. So I'm pretty excited about that. I think they shipped a little early. I don't think they were supposed to get here for a couple more days. So I'm extra glad that I took it easy today, because then tomorrow I can go for not a hard run, but I'll go for maybe 10. Maybe we'll see how I feel. We'll do it. Yeah, Bert had a very different kind of situation though. He said he switched off. Where'd I go? Switched off the phone during the run, but still nature called. It became a forced tempo run to the house after mile 5. That's all right. That's all right. I'm glad that's all it was and not something else. Yeah. Martha's saying that there's a dude in the comments who's been kind of trolling. He's been in there for a while. He's been around actually for probably like 6 or 9 months. And like will occasionally say stuff. So, I mean, I don't know. It might be time. Sometimes, in the beginning, it would be like every fourth video he would comment on, he would like actually have like an insightful comment. Like, oh, he's paying attention. And like, it's like a moment of lucidity. And then it just kind of like goes crazy again. And so, yeah, so maybe it's time for that. I always thought that, I always have hope that I could turn people around and that people will just like start being normal and be like, oh, okay, there's people here that aren't like, I feel like a lot of trolls go to places antagonizing for a response and also resenting that response that they get. And it's like a weird feedback loop. Where it's like, it's kind of like being angry. Sometimes people are angry for legitimate reasons. Sometimes you just want to feed the anger, kind of like eating a bunch of junk food and, or like binge drinking. It's just like, you want to indulge it. And so like, then it becomes a cycle and it becomes unhealthy. And I keep thinking that, maybe this guy can like be like, oh, well, people aren't mad at me here. That's nice. Let's stay here. So that's what I keep hoping. But maybe that guy is not interested in that. Daniel M says, how good does pizza sound right now? Sounds really good. I think today would be a good day for pizza. I think though, we might have fish tacos on the menu for today. Yesterday we had pulled pork, which I made in the crock pot. I didn't have it. I had some Boca burgers, but we did pulled pork. I thought it went over well. Even my kids ate it, which is pretty rare that they'll eat something that's made for dinner. I mean, my daughter's getting to be a better eater. I think she's hitting a big growth spurt, but the younger one, she like likes to load up a plate. She loves having the plate arranged and then doesn't eat it. Although yesterday she ate a hamburger bun. She ate a hole in it to make it a donut. So that's what she ate yesterday. But everyone else in the family seemed to enjoy it. We even sent some of the leftovers, or tried to send some of the leftovers down to my nieces and nephews at my sister-in-law's house. Because a lot of times those kids are like a lot of kids these days, they're like so busy like playing video games and doing whatever it is that kids do on their devices. And then they're like, we're starving. Why is there no food in here? So they don't feed themselves, kind of thing. So I thought we'll send some food down. They weren't home when everyone went over to like deliver it. So I think we're gonna make another try today. Hopefully they like it too. My mom's here. Hi, Mom. Lewis Cameron, JC, Ed Chan says SJD looks different today. Yeah, a little bit. But we each have each other's shirts. He's been wearing some of mine, so like I feel good about that. It's cool. Let's see. Stevie76 says new camera. Yes, the new camera came in. That'll be the subject of tomorrow's video. And it looks very different than the videos that have been coming out like the last kind of week and a half, 2 weeks. And I'm very happy with it. I really like it. I have some like getting used to it that I need to do. But I think in the long run, and it changes a little bit of my setup, I might need to get a couple new like camera accessories to like help shoot the way that I normally shoot. But I think it's going to work out. I really like it. And I didn't spend a ton of money on it. So that's good. But we'll talk about it more in tomorrow's video. Not really. Hank Aaron says, do you shop at B&H Photo? Occasionally. I try to buy most of my stuff on Amazon because my Amazon is linked to charity, Salute Inc. I've been wearing the shirt. It's the red, white, and blue shirt with the soldier that's saluting on it. So like if I buy a lot of stuff, not everything, but a large number of things, like a portion of those sales will go directly to the charity. So kind of like affiliate links. So I don't use my own affiliate links. I use someone else's like affiliate links. So I use that. So like if I try to, anytime I have to buy like big ticket items, like cameras or like computers, I also have it set up for my work purchases, also go to that. And we spend a lot of money on equipment at work. So I'm happy I like to do that. So I prefer to do everything on Amazon if I can. And this time I got everything on Amazon as well. Philip Nystrom says, what's the difference between EVA and TPU? EVA is a foam, TPU is a plastic. Thermoplastic urethane, right? So, I mean, I guess a foam, like an EVA foam, is, I guess, a plastic too? I'm not sure what the strict definition of plastic is, but when I think of EVA, I think of foams. When I think of TPU, I think of like things that are a little bit more rigid. But TPU can be flexible or rigid. It could be like a plate, or like on the outsole of the Float Ride Run Fast Pro, Reebok Run Fast Float Ride Pro, that one has little TPU nubs. TPU is also the stuff that's on like phone cases. That's TPU. So I think I'm not a material scientist. I don't know the difference really, but I think that's right. Mark Trujillo says, ran in Hoka Speedgoat 4 today for the first time. Roadrunner Sports is sending me a Hoka. I don't know if that's it. I don't think it's some, I forget. It's a trail shoe. I don't know if that's going to be it, but it's you. Mark said he ran in the Speedgoat 4 today for the first time. Bottom of my right foot hurt after a 7-mile run. Oh, were you running on trails for your Speedgoats? Or are you running the trail or the Speedgoats on a road surface? I wonder. Yeah. Frank Lahullier talking about the troll that I mentioned at the top of the session today says the dude seems like he's closer to being a paranoid schizophrenic than an actual troll. He's like worried Polar is going to steal his essence or something. Yeah, I I don't want to belittle the guy, but some of the things he's saying are kind of weird in that vein, So, but yeah, I mean, we'll see. I guess I could start blocking him because then maybe he'll move on. Liz Cameron says, "Co, you're looking for next possible run goal. Ever thought of doing an OCR? I don't know if they're going on near Iowa or Illinois, but would love to see you attempt one." And Martha says, what's OCR? OCR is obstacle course racing. And I've thought of it. I would enjoy obstacle course racing. Like, what's the show on ABC where it's just goofy and they shoot like soap cannons at you and You have to run across like a windmill. And it's kind of like Holy Moly, the show that my father-in-law really likes, with the miniature golf, and like you kind of like it's an obstacle course as well. Like I would do that because that's funny, but like Tough Mudder and stuff like that, it's just so it's a little too intense for me. So I don't know if I'd do that. Like steeplechase is as close as I'd like to get to obstacle course racing, I think. Lewis M says, enjoying the stream from work, stuck here. LOL, usually run a couple miles, but it's pouring in Houston and I was not prepared. Ooh, all right. Dave says, obstacle course racing is how I got into running. Thanks, Spartan Race. Cool. That's awesome. Let's see. Innes Dunbar says, fish tacos sound good. Yeah, I think we got cod. There's not a super wide array of fish options that are available at the grocery store in Iowa, other than river fish, which I really like river fish, but my wife doesn't really like. I like fishy fish. Like I think a nice trout. Not that that's a super fishy fish, but like trout is one of my favorite fish to eat. It's delicious. But I'm thinking I'm gonna do like a beer batter for the fish. We have cod, so I think some beer battered cod and some tacos I think would be good. We got some cabbage. I might do a quick pickle on it, or maybe just make like a dressing for it. I don't know. Some red onions. So I think like red onions and red cabbage sliced, like julienne. And then, yeah, that'll be tasty, I think. Jeff Elliott says, I'm plant-based, and for me, the biggest difference when I first switched over was recovery/inflammation. I felt dramatically different within a couple of days. Yeah, I wonder, do you think that it's because you were just eating differently and you ended up eating more like foods that have natural like anti-inflammatory or those kinds of properties? Or do you think it was that like, do you think red meat or like a high processed diet slows down recovery? I wonder. Maybe it's both. I think it's both. All right. Roadrunner Reviews is here. Says, good afternoon. Good to see you. Oh, before I forget, not speaking of Roadrunner Reviews, but Roadrunner Reviews reminded me. Tomorrow, normally we have happy hour, but tomorrow, tomorrow instead of happy hour, there won't be a live stream here on YouTube, but I will be doing a live stream with Roadrunner Sports on their IG live stream. I wouldn't have like picked it to be the same time as a normal live stream normally, but here's a backstory. So Brandon is one of my contacts at Roadrunner Sports. He's been doing a lot of the stuff for their social lately. He's kind of like a one man. There's two people in there, but he's more like on the production side. And I accidentally blew him off. I accidentally like no-showed 2 times in a row. And so like the third time I was like, all right, I got to make sure like I can't. And I was like, whatever time you want to do, whatever day you want to do, I'll do it. And so he said, how about Thursday at 1 p.m. California time? And I was like, fine. Although now I have to double check. Let me check that email because I thought he said Pacific time. Let me make sure on that. Sorry, before I tell you guys the wrong information. Yeah, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's 3 p.m. here. So that would have been that's going to be tomorrow. So there will be no live stream here, but hop on Instagram if you want to see. I'll be doing a little discussion with Brandon over there, and I'm sure we'll answer questions and stuff like that. So that's where I'll be before I forget. So sorry about that. All right. Jeff McKay says, hey, Co, loved your review of the Ride 13. How is the toe box on the Ride 13? I think overall it's pretty roomy compared to most daily trainers that are out there. So if you're comparing it to like a Pegasus or a Kinvara, I think that it's very, very roomy. I think it's also a little bit more form-fitting than it was last year. So it's a little bit more snug, but it's still overall like a generous toe box, I would say. So that's my take on it. Rainrunner says, are you still thinking of doing a Saucony lineup video? Oh, that's another thing that I wish I had brought with me. Someone asked me that a couple of days ago. What did I forget in Chicago, or what do I wish I had? Because I have the Triumph 17 in the blackout version, the Kinvara in the blackout version, and then I have the Freedom 3 in the blackout version, and then now I have the Ride. So I think I have enough now to do that video, but now the Triumph 18 came out, and that's not in a black, so I don't know. But I guess I could do if I do the Triumph 18, then I could do it with, and I won't have all the shoes with me because the Triumph and the Kinvara are in Chicago. But I guess I could do that video and do it with all the 2020 releases, because I think the Triumph 17 came out late 2019, and then I think the Kinvara and the Freedom didn't come out until 2020. So I could do all 2020 releases. So we'll do that. I think we'll do that. I just won't have all four on the table at the same time. I'll have two of them on the table. Yeah. Daniel M says, just remember potato chips and soda is vegan too. Gotta eat healthy foods. Yeah, I haven't had soda in, I think I gave up soda when my daughter was born, or before then. So like my daughter is 8, so it's been a long time. I mean, I think I have had soda like occasionally here and there, but like as a practice, I don't drink it. But potato chips, yes. I had Doritos today. Let's see. There was something I saw, and as soon as I saw it, it moved. And Dunbar says, stop now, Kofuzi. Still haven't eaten yet, and you're making me hungry. That's just, it always comes back to food. I think we're at that time of the day, at least for me, 3 o'clock is like, I guess in a normal period, like is in between lunch and, is like exactly in between lunch and dinner for me usually. And so, I'm hungry. Yeah. Let's see. Lucas Luli Campos says, hi, Kofuzi. How much difference in terms of effort, asphalt and gravel? I mean, I think that there's a big difference, because gravel, you're not going to have as much bounce because it's going to be a little bit softer of a surface. But because it's softer of a surface, it also dampens your stride. And so your push-off isn't going to be as quite efficient. So it'll be easier on your joints, but harder on your paces, I guess, is the best way to put it. And asphalt is not that forgiving, but every ounce that you're putting into pushing off, you're going to, or not every, but a lot of what you're putting into your push-off is going to go straight back into propulsion, because you're not losing it like against the asphalt. So, yeah. All right. What do we got here? Daniel M says, Bert's got me thinking about pizza again. We always think about pizza on this one too. Vince Vanderpeer says, we want to see some family running together. You know, my family's not runners, although I'm not sure which one of my daughters, I think they're both going to be runners. I'd rather them play soccer or something else, do some other sports, rather than focus on running right away. They both really like swimming, so I think that'd be kind of cool if they were swimmers, and work on endurance that way, and something that's a little bit more, I guess, fun, and for at least for kids, and something that's going to be easier on their joints as they're growing. So I think that's what I'd like to see. We're talking about all getting bikes. So my kids have bikes, but my wife and I don't have bikes, and even if we did, we probably wouldn't have brought them here. But we're thinking about picking up some. So then we might go on a family ride, and we can go ride on like Heritage Trail, because then it would be like away from cars, and they could just go. So that's what we're working on. It's hard though, because one is 8, one is 4, or will be 4 in a couple weeks. So like, you know, there's just different abilities. I'm wondering if maybe if I get a bike, maybe I get one of those things that turns it into a tandem bike, you know, like that little extra curvy pole that the kid sits on in the back. Maybe I'll do that. I think that'd be fun. I think she'd really love that. Seems so unsafe though, but we'll try it. We'll try. Who knows? Yeah. Let's see. Timmy PMM says, "Hi Kofuzi, my best mile is a 608. And I've been running with the Nike Star Runner 2, and I'm thinking about getting a better running shoe. Which should I get? Anything under $100." I'm not familiar with the Nike Star Runner 2, but I would say look to see if you. I don't know. I think you can get Turbo 2s under $100 depending on the site. So, and depending on where you are, you might be able to get that. I would also look at the Pegasus 36, last year's Pegasus, to see if you could get some of those. I'm pretty sure you can find some of those under $100. So that's another place I would look. What are some other good options that are out there? And those are the ones that are jumping out to me. Since you're already in Nike and you seem to like it, so I'll leave it at that. Let's see. Ines Dunbar says, "Kofuzi, thanks for the recommendation for David Goggins' audiobook. He is some guy. He's a crazy guy. He is crazy. That guy's insane." But yeah, I love that book. I think I'd like to. I listened to it once, and I don't know, Ines, if you're reading it or if you're doing the audiobook. But the audiobook, it's read by someone else, and then at the end of, I think, every chapter, that person that reads the book then does kind of like a deconstruction section, or like talks about the previous chapter with David Goggins in almost like a podcast style. So it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool experience. And in it, they also talk about like, and this isn't spoiling anything, but in terms of like when he decided to write the book, he went the self-publishing route. And because he wanted to maintain control of it, and it also has rights to the audiobook as well, and so that's why it gave him like the ability to kind of like do weird things with it, like having like audiobook / podcast combined into one. It's pretty cool. Let's see. OOP or OOP says, "Anyone know if you can apply discount codes when Garmin watches go on sale?" I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. Maybe someone else has experience with that in the comments here. Timmy Pim says, "Do you know where I would find Peg Turbo for under $100?" I don't know. I would look for it to see what the prices are. I mean, don't go to Nike.com. They might have some that are discounted in certain colors, but I would look at just like the other running retailers to see what their prices are like. I'm not sure. Derek Dixon says, "What do we have planned for the big 100 tomorrow?" Well, tomorrow, for those of you who might have missed it, tomorrow there will not be a live stream. I'm going to be going live on Roadrunner Sports IG. So head over to Instagram. It'll be the same time as this, but I'll be over there. And so we'll do that there. So I won't count that as the 100. And then, so we'll do the 100 on Friday. I don't think we'll do anything special for it, but I mean, maybe I'll play some sound effects. That's about it. We'll get the hooray sound out for 100. Yeah. Rainrunner asks, "Is Garmin back up and running? Haven't set up my Forerunner 245 yet because I figured I should wait and see." I got some information. Marathon Will's been messaging me about it. He's been really helpful. He says that his are up and like going fine now. So his seem to be okay. He's able to see them. So I don't know if it's just him or just some stuff. But Chris McLean says Garmin is syncing now, but it's still a little glitchy. So I think they're figuring it out. Yeah. Let's see. Recycle on Wednesday says, "Soccer, I take debilitating lifelong joint problems over even minor head injuries any day of the week." He's had both, but kids should do whatever they enjoy best. Yeah, I understand that there can be lots of potential head injuries in soccer. That's true. I usually just think about it in terms of like, they take the kids that are good runners and they just put them in the midfield, so they just run up and down the field all day. So I'm like, that'd be great for my kids to do that. Get them tired. Anything that will make my kids tired, I'm 100% behind. Jonathan Fan said, "You need a better cowbell sound for the 100. I have a better cowbell sound. Should we hear it? Or I'll save it. I'll save it for Friday. I got a better one. I got it off of YouTube. Because YouTube, like the creator studio, They have some sounds that you can download, and normally I stay away from there just in case I want to put the content elsewhere, and I don't want to like run afoul of different copyright issues that way. But I figure I'm using it for the live stream that goes up on YouTube, so that I feel like we're good. Awesome. Jeff Elliott says Garmin is almost 100%. There's a status page. Cool. Christopher Betcher says mine seems good to go for Garmin. Cool. Bertliga says pizza party for the 100th live stream. I think that's a good idea. Yeah, maybe I have to make another trip to Happy Joe's, get some taco pizza. I'm just trying to think of how weird people would look at me if I asked for a taco pizza at Happy Joe's with no meat. We'll see, but we'll get some pizza. Maybe I'll make some pizza. We'll see. But by Friday I think we should be good, because other big news for today in terms of like my kind of like homeowner experiences, in addition to lawn mowing, which I've been doing a lot of this summer. I feel like I'm getting pretty good at that. I mean, I haven't changed the oil or spark plugs on the lawnmower, but I think I know. I think I could figure that out. I used to ride a motorcycle, so that kind of stuff is fine. But today, I was helping my father-in-law and my mother-in-law. They're replacing a window in their house, and they were waiting for a cooler stretch to be able to do that work, and today apparently was the day. And so today I had to get on a ladder, use a crowbar. I've used a crowbar before. We have one at our house, so I've used it before. But I used a crowbar, a ladder, a hammer. We had to remove aluminum siding, and we didn't get to finish today because we needed some more stuff. So we called it for the day. There's like siding off the side of the house, which like terrifies me, but my father-in-law seems to be like cool with it. So I don't know. But yeah, so I did that today. So that was a big day for me. We're going to get back at it tomorrow. I think he has all the stuff he needs now. We're going to take the old window out, put the new window in, get the siding back up. Yeah. That's not something I would ever consider doing myself, but yeah, I'm doing it. I'm like a big boy now. Not really. Hank Aaron says you should get a paper route. Getting a paper route out here would be way too stressful. Because people take the newspaper here extremely seriously. Like the other day, the neighbor got their paper. All the neighbors got their paper except for my father-in-law, and he was mad about it for a good half the part of the day. Ooh, he was hot. And I just feel like I just can't deal with that kind of pressure. There's too much pressure to deliver. I don't think I can handle that. I'm joking, but that's a big reason why I wouldn't get the paper route. Oh man. Demas M says, any advice with Achilles injury? I don't have experience with that. I've had some. It was maybe a couple years ago where I started getting some Achilles strain. It started like acting up towards the end of a marathon training block, and for me it was just like I ramped up intensity too fast, and then like my body just couldn't keep up with it and maintain it. And so the only thing that worked for me was just pulling back a little bit in terms of the intensity. And if it's bad enough, then let's just like rest. So not really. Hank Aaron says Antifa uses crowbar. I mean, maybe, but the last time that I used that crowbar was when I helped pull up nails in my brother, the same place, the house where we were dropping off the leftover pulled pork. I helped them redo the bathroom over there. So we had to, we pulled up all the flooring, and there was all these like nails in the subfloor, and we had to pick up every single tiny little one. It took forever. It took hours of just pulling up nails. Oh, that was horrible. But that bathroom looks nice now. It works really well. So I can do that kind of stuff. I just can't be in charge of it. I can't direct it or plan it. But I can execute if someone tells. I'm a good worker. Just tell me what to do. But when it comes to that kind of stuff, if you ask me how to do it, it's not going to look right. It's going to be like, yeah, it looks great from back here. Just don't get too close, kind of thing, you know. Um, yeah. Uh, Emma Wilhelm says, anyone have a Theragun? Is it worth the money? Highly considering this as I enter into marathon training. People that have them love them and swear by them. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I also don't do a lot of foam rolling either. So I think it just is a preference. I think if you really like foam rolling, I think you probably will like a massage gun. But for me, I just don't. Not a huge desire for me to use them. But from what I understand, I've used them before. But I think that the thing to keep in mind is some are louder than others. So some sound like you're running a drill, and others just sound like you're running like an electric toothbrush. So something to think about. Jonathan Fan says, have you thought about youth basketball for your kids? I have. We signed my daughter up for a youth basketball league maybe 2 years ago. She would have been 6. And she was super excited. We bought the uniform. We were ready to go. They're at that age, like the practices are games kind of thing. And so she is in the uniform and ready to go. We got to the place and she wouldn't even set foot on the court. And so I was like, we're not leaving until you practice. That's your team. Go spend time with your team. You've been so excited. We bought you the basketball. We got you the jersey and the shorts. Go and have fun. And she just wouldn't. And I got so mad. It was not a great parenting moment for me. But now she loves basketball. She says she does. And she enjoys playing it. And every once in a while I'm like, hey, you're getting a lot better at this. Seems to be enjoying it. She's like, yeah, I love it. I'm like, you want to try a team? And she'll be like, no, thanks. No, I'm okay. So, I'm not going to push her. All right. Patrick Fung says, hype rice. See, it comes back to food. Wait, a massage gun. Yeah. Rain Runner says, Theraguns, etc. seem too expensive. Now, I've been getting review requests from companies that make knockoff versions. Those end up being in the $100 range. But I'm not that interested in those products. And I feel like if I'm going to do the product, I don't know, maybe the next time someone asks, I'll do it. But I'm also relatively worried, even when I foam roll, that I'm going to do more harm than good. Because for me, there's a point where there's that good pain from massage rolling and stuff like that. And then I just don't know where the line is between good pain and bad pain sometimes. There's that a little bit of crossover area. And I'm just worried that I'm going to accidentally hurt my fibula or something, or put pressure on a tendon that really needed to be left alone and just make it worse and more inflamed. So that I'm always worried about that. So yeah, that's kind of part of why I don't like to foam roll that much, and I've been staying away from the massage guns. In his number says, each to their own, Kofuzi. Us tradesmen couldn't do what lawyers do. Well, I don't really do what lawyers do either. It's kind of fun, but yeah. But I understand what you're saying. I appreciate that. But I try to do, but I'm just really bad at things in real space. I'm good at virtual things, videos, graphics, communications kind of things. But in real life, taking care of things, I'm real bad at taking care of things. That's why we haven't wanted to have a car. I'm really bad at taking care of cars. And even my motorcycle, I took care of it. I could change the oil and stuff. I changed spark plugs and whatever. But because motorcycle engines are a lot simpler. But I'm still really bad at it. It's just not something I enjoy. Lawn mowing. Some people love it. I didn't find it all that entertaining. So, yeah. Hidden Six Pack says foam rolling is the best. Some people love it. Bert Legas trying to give me some advice on good pain is you go bad pain you go arg. See it I always push the good pain to the point where it's arg, and so that's where I feel like I get in trouble. Matt Haas says, have you tried the Crest PX 4-inch shorts from Path Projects yet? I didn't know they had a 4-inch short. I've tried the last one they sent me was the Sykes. I think it's Sykes, the 5-inch short with the pockets. There's 3 in the back, the phone pocket, and 2 I call them I guess they're hip pockets, but I call them kidney pockets back here. I know the kidneys are a little bit back up here, but So I had that one, and it's the new thinner material, which I really enjoy. But I didn't know they had a 4-inch. But I did recently get a pair of Roadrunner R-Gear shorts that are 6 pockets. So like 4 pockets, 1 phone pocket, and it can't fit my phone, and a key pocket, like kind of a front. And those are 3 inchers. I've taken them for a couple runs, but I haven't really loaded them up yet. So we'll see how they go. I have a pair of their 5-inch shorts that have like the same number of pockets, but the zipper on the back, it couldn't fit a phone on that one, and it broke really soon. So I'm gonna like really like wait before I really talk about those shorts, see how they do. Let's see. Frank literally just saying "aharg." B. Rutland says, watching the Ride 13 Mizuno video, I was waiting for which one was the better lawn mowing shoe. That's easy. The Mizuno is a better lawn mowing shoe, although I haven't mowed the lawn in the Ride 13 yet. But that's why that one is like it's so discolored. It's so yellow, is because I've been using it to like mow the lawn. Anytime I have to like go outside and I can't put flip-flops on, I've been wearing those shoes. So they look a little bit more beat up than they otherwise would. Like, because the thing is, those 2 shoes have about the same number of miles on them. So yeah. I meant to mention that to kind of be like, hey, by the way, like the reason why these have the same mileage on the shoes, but one looks really yellow because I've been using it to mow lawns. So I don't know. JC has the stick. I think it's like a stick. It looks like a like a pole with like giant beads on them, and you roll it back and forth. He says save the cabs. Cool, very cool. I know Seth likes his. So Lewis M says, I did not know Saucony packaging was so sick. My Freedom 3s are black and gray, and the color scheme is also on the packaging and paper. As a sneakerhead, I love to see it. Yeah, but it's only for those that's the blackout colorway. Only for those is it like that. Like my Triumph 18s that came in like the regular, really boring like Saucony black and white box, and just has like white tissue paper inside. So like it's like I love the look of that black and the gray. I think it's beautiful. I want the entire line in those shoes. Like even the black Endorphin Speeds, they look okay. I wish they would have blacked them out like that black and gray, because that is amazing. I love it. I'll buy every one of the shoes that come in that way. But yeah. But yeah, I think they did a really good job with that. And I think that hopefully they're getting that customer feedback so they can like look to try and do that for more like that customer experience. I think it's cool. Tony Macias asks, any issues with chafing from 2 to 3 inch shorts? No. None at all. That's why they're great. You don't get chafing with those. I do get chafing with my like half tights when it's real hot. And so that's why like I've been looking at the 2 inch shorts and the 3 inch shorts, which I'm just starting to really like. They're very freeing. You know, you have to think about like where are you going to put all your stuff. So the flip belt has been getting a lot more use this year than it ever has. But yeah. Philip McCartan says, best shoes for heel pain. I would say, first, I mean, make sure like it's not an issue where you need to rest up. Maybe like it's a stress fracture or just an overuse injury. But other than that, I would look for shoes that are in the max cushion category that are real soft. Like I have the Triumph 18, but the Triumph 17 would be a good choice in that category. The Bondi 6 would be a good choice. I think the Bondi 7 is coming out soon, like a week or so, I think. That'd be another one to look at. People say they like, I haven't tried the Glide Ride, but people say they like it. It's a smooth, longer distance shoe. So, yeah. So those are some that I would look at as well. Rodolfo Montalvo says, I do everything. I did it again. See, every time I just start reading, it moves. Says, I do everything: foam rolling, yoga, static stretch, dynamic stretch. Just try it and listen to your body daily. At least that's what I do. One stretch that I do regularly all the time, and I think these are all things that are connected. Like my knee that's been bothering me sometimes when I have like my gait, people always say like my left foot overpronates a lot. I think all these things are related. Is that like I will kind of like here are my legs and here's where my feet are from my hip. Throw like one leg over the other leg, kind of like a figure 4 almost, and then I'll massage right where I feel like like on the part of my butt where I feel like the femur inserts, and I'll really try to get in there, and that's where I do a hard massage. And that spot is where I'm like, oh, if I had like a massage gun, boom, right there, I think I would really enjoy that. That part is usually on high mileage weeks. That's the most tight. But also the other way I get it is just by sitting on the floor and kind of just doing this, and I'll rotate. And like if you just rotate like the right way, like your own weight will get it for me. So that's kind of like what I do. With the kids, I end up sitting on the floor a lot, and so that usually helps me identify places that are sore pretty easily. Steve Does Stuff says, did Garmin pay the ransom? If not, how did they recover the data? My understanding, Steve, I don't think they paid the ransom. Although if they did, I think they wouldn't tell us. But my understanding is that they did a recovery from an old backup. And so they were able to like get everyone's data, and then they like did something else, probably had to reroute the data coming in to go through a different pathway. So I think that they're just like circumventing all the data that was like hijacked, kind of. Carlos Cejas says he uses old trail shoes to mow the lawn. Oh, I might try that. Maybe when I'm done with my ultras. The Superior, because I like those. Or the Sensorite, I think would be a really good lawn mowing shoe. Because of that house in Guttenberg, there's a very hilly part to mow, and so that's why I've been wanting a shoe with more kind of like grip and traction. I think the Sensorite 3, when I'm done with that one, that's going to be the next lawn mowing shoe. See. All right. Jonathan Van says, do you still ever wear the chicken leg shorts? Yeah, I love those. I just like, I like camo patterns generally. And then to have the camo pattern and a short, there's just like a weird irony there that I enjoy. And I just enjoy the short. The shorts are good. I like them. Martha says, I've heard mixed things about Garmin. At first I heard they were stored from backups, but then I read they went through a third party and didn't pay the perps directly. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I have a feeling they paid. I mean, don't you? Like, otherwise they'd be like, here's exactly how we did it. And that's why, like, but like, I don't know. Either way, it's just all, neither of those options is great, but I guess that's the situation they were in. Let's see. Rainrunner says, I wonder if they'll release more colorways for the Endorphin line. I hope that they do. I mean, maybe not for the Pro, but for the Speed, because I just think that, like, if they release the Speed in, like, 2 or 3 more colors, they would just sell so many of that shoe. I mean, yeah, they're just, I think they're selling a lot of them now. I think they could sell even more of them if they had more colors. Yep. But I don't know any information one way or the other if there are more colors coming. Let's see. Where'd it go? Ragnar707 says, read cheaper massage gun. My girlfriend bought me one from MeBack, $150, currently $125 on Amazon. Overall, pretty happy with it and don't really see the point in more expensive ones. Have had them used on. Okay. I don't know. Maybe I will look at it just to see. But I feel like then I probably should also bring in like a high price one. I mean, if I did a high price massage gun, how do I do that with like a straight? I can't do that with a straight face. Like that would end up, there would be like a bowl of rice in like the background of every shot. Like, but I mean, maybe I'd have to do that to compare them. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. Larry Mull says, the rumor on Garmin is a third party was used to negotiate and handle a payment on their behalf. Ooh. See, I just thought that that's what people did. Like if they got you well enough to like really cripple your business, that like you pay them and they get away with it and that's it. That's kind of like the weird, unfortunate like reality is what I thought. See. Charles Ventura asks, any idea why my feet hurt more the more cushion is under the shoe? I walk around my apartment all the time barefoot and it's concrete. Well, I mean, I would kind of want to look further into that to kind of experience with like, are you just saying like I could walk barefoot fine, but when I run my feet hurt? Or you're saying like, well, I tried a shoe that was like a 0 drop, like 8mm stack height, and then I tried a shoe that was like 0 drop 20mm stack height, and that hurt more. But I mean, there's lots of theories around that. Minimal, I think I would think it would depend on who you're talking to. But I think if you're a minimalist runner, you would say it's because you don't need cushion. If you are not a minimalist runner, you would say it's because your gait is different. You don't walk the same way that you run. And so there could be something either in your biomechanics or in your current level of fitness in your musculoskeletal system that is not as efficient. Or maybe you just need to adapt. Maybe your body's, the amount of force that you're imparting onto one foot when you are running versus one foot when you are walking is going to be different. And so maybe your foot isn't used to that. There was a time when I was running, and I think it was my second ever Soldier Field 10-mile race. And I just remember walking around the neighborhood after that in flip-flops, thinking like, I felt like the bottom, like the tough part, the pads of your feet, I felt like all of them were about to be ready to be sheared off. Like at any point, like the bottom part of my foot could separate from my foot. That's how I felt. Now I can run that distance very easily without it bothering my feet. So callousing could be part of it too. So I think it depends on what kind of pain we're talking about and what kind of more cushion we're talking about too. Henry Liss says, when's the best lawn mowing shoe video? I would have to do more testing for that to be able to do that. But I have a feeling the one that would come out on top would be like one of the New Balance dad shoes. I feel like that's going to win. Jonathan Fan says, do you like playing any sports other than running? Before everything happened, I was about to start taking up rock climbing because my daughter was really into it. She's on a team. She was about to have her first competition. She could have gone to her first competition, but we elected to keep her out of it because it was like a second weekend in March. And we were like, I'm not sure that we're going to send our kid to a big giant indoor space with hundreds of other people. So I think that I would have taken to that really well and enjoyed it. But other than that, I don't really play sports, other than running. I enjoy lots of things though. I just haven't other sports require other people, and coordinating with other people as an adult in terms of time is really hard. So, yeah, I would love to be in an after work softball league, but I wouldn't have time for that because I got to run home and pick up my kids. So there's just stuff like that. It's hard. So I don't really do a lot of other sports. I like frisbees. I used to frisbee golf all the time. Let's see. Johnny Jackson says, Hoka owning opinion. I think they're great. I think last year they had a really great year. I think they could have had a really good year this year if they could have, if this year didn't happen, so to speak. You know what I mean? So we'll see. Because I think they had really great releases lined up, but they've moved them all. They're not only coming out next week. And so even the Rocket X hasn't even, I think some people have it, but I haven't seen them really. So I think all their best shoes have still yet to be released this year. So, yeah. So, Louis M says, got to shoot some hoops. Harlem Globetrotters theme. Yeah. I think the first game in Madison Square Garden that I saw was a Globetrotters game. And I've seen Knicks games there too, but I think the first basketball game that my dad took me to at Madison Square Garden was a Harlem Globetrotters game. And I distinctly remember telling my dad, I was reading the program, the brochure, and I was like, Dad, did you know the Globetrotters have the world record for the longest undefeated streak? They never lose. These guys are amazing. Yeah. So, for those of you who don't know what the Globetrotters are, they're this trick shot basketball act. They're playing basketball, but they always play this other team called the Generals, right? The Washington Generals, I think. And they're kind of the backdrop to their comedy and their antics. I don't know if they still have that kind of routine or if it's different in 2020, but Yeah, yeah. It reminds me of like that Simpsons episode. He's like where Krusty's like he's spinning the ball on his finger. Just take it. You know, that was me. Like I really believed that these were like competitive exhibition games that like the Globetrotters had won to like a world record amount of consecutive times. That's a good memory. Oh man, I had a good time with that game. My dad probably rolled his eyes the entire time, but I just thought it was amazing. Oh man. Luis Becerra said, "Who won? The Globetrotters won. It was a blowout. It was definitely a blowout." DW Running says, "Speaking of money and internet sabotage, ever watched the Robert Redford movie Sneakers?" Oh yeah, I did. I don't remember it. I don't remember anything about it, but I definitely remember watching it. For sure. Nemo Khan says, "Can you suggest shoes for overpronation, please?" Sure. But first, I'll kind of give you like the normal speech that I give. I think that most people think that they overpronate, but I think that like, is it overpronation or is it just natural pronation, or is it just a temporary phase as your body is adapting to a different level of physical activity? So like with that kind of like in mind, I feel like a lot of times what people might look as overpronation on like week one. I don't know what your running status is, but like for a lot of people, it's like they're in like week 3 of like couch to 5K, and they're like, ooh, like things are hurting. I might be overpronating. Like stay with it. As your body gets in shape, your gait will kind of improve itself over time. But if you're in a position where like you're having knee pain, or a physician has like diagnosed you with overpronation and you need to have stability shoes, then there's a couple that I would look at. I would look at shoes that have the rail technology that seems to be a little bit more effective for a lot of people these days, and like the modern trend, versus like stability shoes, which usually just have like a stiff part, or like around the arches. If this is the arch of your foot, like there's like a stiff part underneath the shoe, so it doesn't like collapse in on itself. So I think that there's the Triumph has a sibling shoe that is a stability version. I'm trying to I forget what the name of that one is. But that's something that worth looking at. Also, there's a stability version of the Freedom called the Liberty, which is very highly esteemed. I don't really run in a lot of stability shoes. They tend to give me problems. Then there is the GT 2008 from Asics, which I felt like was a pretty good. I was able to run in that one for a little bit, even though it's a stability shoe. So I kind of really like that one. And then there is a stability version. I'm picking all Sauconys. There's a stability version of the Ride. I think it's called the Guide, that I think would be worth looking at as well. So those are some options for you. Yeah. All right, let's find one more, and then I'll probably call it for today. Yes, Terrence, who says the Saucony Max Cushion is the Hurricane. Yes, that's the one that I would look at first. Let's see. And the man of sausages says Arahi 4 for him. Good point. Yeah, not really hankering to. It's a medial post that's in stability shoes. Ben O says, are you ever planning on doing a full review of the Nike React Infinity Run Fly Knits? I know you talked briefly about them in your Price of Winning video. I did. I'm not going to do a full video on that one. That's another one with guide rails. So if you're that person looking for some recommendations on stability shoes or for overpronation, that could be a pretty good one too. Lots of React foam in it, nice and bouncy, very comfortable, very wide platform to stand on. So that also can help with some of the stability aspects too. But I don't have that shoe anymore. I gave it to Seth. And he gave them away. To his like SOS thing, the sending our sneakers. Is that what the SOS stands for? Sharing our sneakers. So they found another home somewhere else. But I don't have them anymore, so I won't be running in them. So yeah. JH says, my Mizuno Wave Inspire is awesome for my overpronation. That's cool. Yeah, I was just looking at that one today because I was looking through the Mizuno lineup as I was just doing some research for today's video. And I guess we'll end with this one today, but and like I don't know. Like, I think that it's like a shoe. It's a stability shoe, but it's one that like if you need stability, that's the only kind of person that could love it. Because the way that the wave plate is shaped in that one, it just looks like it's like a torture device. Like for me, it just looks like something that's gonna like jam right into my arch. It was kind of scary when I looked at it, but I'm glad that it works for people that really need it. So I do think that for stability shoes, it's like, for me, I consider it like not quite so severely or harshly as like taking prescription medicines when you shouldn't. But I feel like if you don't need stability shoes, your body will let you know by being uncomfortable. But if you do need them, then it's exactly what you need. And so like, but because of the possibility that it could like really mess you up, I'm really reluctant to recommend them. But hopefully some of those give you some options, things to try out, experiment with, see if you like them, see if they work for you, and hopefully you find something that you can have lots of happy miles with. All right, I think that's a great place to end it for today. Sorry I went a little bit long. Remember, tomorrow I'll be on Instagram, on Roadrunner Sports Instagram, same time, but on their Instagram live stream, talking with Brandon over at Roadrunner Sports. So I won't be here, but I will be online doing a live stream. So I'd love it to see you guys in the comments down there as well. Tomorrow's video is going to be about a new camera and the new lens, which I thought looked really good today in today's video. I'm a big fan of it. But we'll talk about that, and then I'll do another live stream on Friday too. So in the meantime, hopefully you guys are staying safe out there on your runs, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, everybody.